Okay, chapter 18 is proving to be a long one. So this is chapter 18, part 2. We left off with Sam's dad telling him how he doesn't know how Sam's mom makes do with the little bit of money that dad brings home. And he said, I don't know how she does it, but she does. And so we're going to continue right here where she sends her love. She sends her love and says that she hopes you're eating well-balanced meals. The onion soup was simmering and ready. I gave Dad his. First course, I said. He breathed deeply of the odor and downed it boiling hot. Son, this is better onion soup than the chef at the Waldorf can make. Bando sipped his, and I put mine in the snow to cool. Your mother will stop worrying about your diet when she hears of this. Bando rinsed Dad's soup bowl in the snow, and with great ceremony and elegance, he could really be elegant when the occasion arose, poured him a turtle shell of sassafras tea. Quoting a passage from one of Dickens's food-eating scenes, he carved the blackened steak. It was pink and juicy inside, cooked to perfection. We were all proud of it. Dad had to finish his tea before he could eat. I was short on bowls. Then I filled his shell, a mound of sort of fluffy mashed cattail tubers, mushrooms and dog-tooth violet bulbs, smothered in gravy, thickened with acorn powder. Each plate had a pile of soaked and stewed honey locust beans, mixed with hickory nuts. The beans are so hard it took 3 days to soak them. It was a glorious feast. Everyone was impressed, including me. When we were done, Bando went down to the stream and cut some old, dried, and hollow reeds. He came back and carefully made us each a flute with the tip of his penknife. He said the willow whistles were too old for such an occasion. We all played Christmas carols until dark. Bando wanted to try some complicated jazz tunes, but the late hour, the small fire dancing and throwing heat, and the snow insulating us from the winds made us all so sleepy we were not capable of more than a last slow rendition of taps before we put ourselves on and under skins and blew out the light. Before anyone was awake the next morning, I heard Frightful call hungrily. I had put her outside to sleep, as we were very crowded. I went out to find her. Her Christmas dinner had been a big piece of venison, but the night air had enlarged her appetite. I called her to my fist, and we went into the meadow to rustle up breakfast for the guests. She was about to go after a rabbit, but I thought that wasn't proper fare for a post-Christmas breakfast, so we went to the stream. Frightful caught herself a pheasant while I kicked a hole in the ice and did a little ice fishing. I caught about 6 trout and whistled Frightful to my hand. We returned to the hemlock. Dad and Bando were still asleep, with their feet in each other's faces, but both looking very content. I built the fire and was cooking the fish and making pancakes when Dad shot out of bed. Wild boy, he shouted. What a sanguine smell. What a purposeful fire. Breakfast in a tree. Son, I toil from sun up to sun down, and never have I lived so well. I served him. He choked a bit on the acorn pancakes. They're a little flat and hard, but Bando got out some of his blueberry jam and smothered the pancakes with an enormous portion. Dad went through the motions of eating this. The fish, however, he enjoyed, and he asked for more. We drank sassafras tea, sweetened with some of the sugar Bando had brought me, rubbed our turtle shells clean in the snow, and went out into the forest. Dad had not met Frightful. When she winged down out of the hemlocks, he ducked and flattened out in the snow, shouting, Blast off! He was very cool toward Frightful until he learned that she was the best provider we had ever had in our family, and then he continually praised her beauty and admired her talents. He even tried to pet her, but Frightful was not to be won. She snagged him with her talons. They stayed away from each other for the rest of Dad's visit, although Dad never ceased to admire her from a safe distance. Bando had to leave 2 or 3 days after Christmas. He had some papers to grade, and he started off reluctantly one morning, looking very unhappy about the way of life he had chosen. He shook hands all around and then turned to me and said, I'll save all the newspaper clippings for you, and if the reporters start getting too hot on your trail, I'll call the New York papers and give them a bum steer. I could see he rather liked the idea, and departed a little happier. Dad lingered on for a few more days, ice fishing, setting my traps and snares, and husking walnuts. He whittled some cooking spoons and forks. On New Year's Day, he announced that he must go. I told your mother I would only stay for Christmas. It's a good thing she knows me, or she might be worried. She won't send the police out to look for you, I asked hurriedly. Could she think you never found me? Oh, I told her I'd call on Christmas night if I didn't. He poked around for another hour or two, trying to decide just how to leave. Finally, he started down the mountain. He had gone, sorry, he had hardly gone 100 feet before he was back. I've decided to leave by another route. Somebody might backtrack me and find you, and that would be too bad. He came over to me and put his hand on my shoulder. You've done very well, Sam. He grinned and walked off toward the gorge. I watched him bound from rock to rock. He waved from the top of a large rock and leapt into the air. That was the last I saw of Dad for a long time.